Yo, what is going on, guys? Coming at you with another ban list video. This time a little bit different. I looked at the ban list itself and I was thinking of making a full video of any potential changes to how the decks play, and I realized a lot of these decks are just mostly going to play the same, just have cards that can replace them to see if they are any good. And I wanted to make a quick video of some decks that I am comfortable with, that I have seen in competitive play, people, or, you know, on online or stuff like that, of people replacing certain cards. And I wanted specifically to do it for Eldlich, Drytron, and Tribrigade, as those are the decks I am most comfortable talking about right now. Obviously, we can talk about other decks like Emancipators and all those that might have a little bit more of a hit with Roxy's and Analyzer, but ultimately they're just going to go down to more hand traps or something like that, right? So I wanted to talk about these decks just because I have more knowledge about them, basically. This is hopefully going to be a short video. These are just going to be plug and play cards that you can kind of go in when you're talking about these versions of the deck, and what cards you're going to be replacing the ban list cards with, and then hopefully you can just plug and play and continue playing the good old way, the same old way. I want to start with Tribrigade because Tribrigade is probably the most simple. Fractal is going to 2, semi-limit 2. And this, I think the easiest thing to do is just straight up hit the Zodiacs, just start playing more Zodiacs. Literally, you could replace a Fractal with another Zodiac. They synergize very well with your Tinky, so it'll feel like nothing's really changed. Either you're going to draw a Zodiac, or you're going to draw just your normal Tribrigade engine and go in from there, and then just play your Zodiac engine if you need to with your Drytron. But if you want to, you can play an additional Karass. You could obviously use this guy just to discard a card and have an additional special summon. A lot of decks only play 1 or 2 copies. You could just put another copy of this, or you could play more hand traps. You could play, for example, Ghost Bell. A lot of people have dropped that card, but it is actually really good. Or just double up on Call by the Grave and go from there. The best thing you can do, though, is definitely play the Zodiac version. Of course, we have the full guide on the channel. That's essentially unchanged with the changes, so go for that deck list, in my opinion. Next up, I want to talk about Eldlich. Eldlich is going to be losing Conquistador. Conquistador is the one that that pops a card and floats in the end phase, giving you advantage. The thing is, there are other cards that do this in the Eldlich engine. One of them being this one, Hakero of the Golden Land. A lot of people already play this. You could simply plug this in if you wanted to do that. Or something I actually play in real life that can kind of come up sometimes. You could play Guardian of the Golden Land, which has an insane defense value of 2500. It's a level 8, so you can synchro and exceed with it at level 8. And when it's summoned and you have an Eldritch Lord on your hand, it'll permanently change a face-up attack monster's attack to 0, which can be pretty relevant when we have these kind of high attack monsters that come up sometimes to help you control the battlefield. And of course, it still has that end phase effect that lets you go into one of your Eldlichers. So that's very, very good if you wanted to just keep up with more Golden Lord plays. You could also just play Golden Land forever. This card's really good, and a lot of people aren't aware that it's around. It is a counter trap for Eldlich, and you basically, if you have a Eldlich, the Eldlich zombie monster, you just tribute one of your zombie monsters, and boom, negate anything. Just negate it straight up, counter trap. They can't chain to it. This also is really good because if you play like Zombie World version, which I have a video about, you can play Super Poly, Zombie World, and the Eldlich Mad Golden Lord. This hit isn't really all that bad for you. Conquistador, while it's great, that version only played 2 as it was because they needed to fit in so much more stuff. Again, you could just drop down to 1 Conquistador, Guardian of the Golden Land, and just play a Zombie World version. Definitely go check out that video that we have on the channel if you want to play a different version of Eldlich and not a Floodgate-oriented Eldlich the Golden Lord. 100%, I think that'll be the way Eldlich players go, but I really think ultimately they're just going to pick up an extra copy of one of these 2 and toss it in there, or both, or just another Golden Land forever. Eldlich will be A-okay, in my opinion. Drytron is going to be a little tricky because Benton at 1, obviously if something happens to that Benton, it is game over, and you also need to get into that Benton much easier. You could just do what most Drytron players do and, you know, play like more Drytron ritual monsters rather than just having the Herald of Ultimateness. For example, the Metanodius Dragonia. I'm so sorry, I butchered the name, I know. But this guy's really good because if there's attack equal to 2,000 or 4,000, it can negate face-up monsters, which is really, really cool. Actually, it banishes monsters from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster for every 2,000 of that total. And then you could send those cards to the graveyard as a quick effect. So no negate, my apologies, just sending them to the graveyard by banishing your monsters. Very, very strong effect. Not a lot of people play it, but I think a lot of people are going to start playing this guy just for some support. You'll also probably drop your Natashas because you're not going to have as many Bentons to, you know, banish or anything like that. And play more kind of ways to search the Benton. So, for example, Manju could be a really good way to search a ritual monster or a ritual spell, or potentially a Petit Angel could be another option to search just straight up the Cyber Angel. But it's more than likely that it's going to just be more of ritual. So you're going to play the Drytron field spell, the Drytron ritual monster, etc., etc. More Drytron support rather than more Cyber Angel support. But cards like Manju are here and they are available. So just keep those in mind when you are thinking about options in terms of changing up your decks for these decks specifically. That's all I have right now. I'm sure PDS and Kamel are doing research. I'm doing research on the other decks as well. If you'd like me to make a video on those decks, you know, what to replace in those decks, I'll get right to work on it. That's it from me. Till the next video, boys. Enjoy the ban list.